Hello and welcome into week 6 of the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour here at Five Flag Speedway. We're going to be going a scheduled 130 laps here tonight. As usual, it's a night race. Should have plenty of grip down on the track for these guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at our grid, go through the field. So starting on the front row with the Kohort Pole Award is going to be Justin Brooks in the 33 Justin Brooks design Cadillac. On his outside, we're going to have Philip York in the white and black number 97 machine. Zachary Wilt's going to be on the inside of the second row with Blaine Harrison on his outside. Next, we're going to go down to Anthony Monroe in the black and yellow 82 machine with Brian Conover on his outside in the black and green number 97. Going further back in the field, we're going to have Connor Knowlton in the number 2 Ford Mustang with Kyle St. Jean on his outside in the 37 FedEx machine. Going further back in the field, we're going to have Eli Lewis in the black number 3 in the Lewis Designs Ford Mustang. On his outside, we're going to have Nicholas Giampa in the number 96 Pay Cafe. Continuing back, we're going to have Jake Grout on the inside in the black, white, and blue and red 49 Toyota Camry. And on his outside, we're going to have Trevor Haley rocking the number 12 body armor. Shout out to Ryan Blaney. Next row, we're going to have Justin Raymond in the 199 Sundays are for the Kohort Chevrolet with Chris Fleming on his outside in the number 38 Justin Brooks design Emblem Chevrolet. And in our last row, we're going to have Clayton Dorner in the number 14 and Caleb McNeil gridded but did not show up for the race, or joined the session but did not grid, so he will not be in the lineup tonight. So Clayton Dorner is going to be last. So we're going to get this grid off of here. We're going to get the tower up and loaded because our replay file did not capture the pace laps. So as soon as we press go, we're going to be going live here for our scheduled 130 laps. Let's see if that race flips over and tells us how many laps left. If not, we'll take a look at that. But let's go ahead and go to the front of the pack because green flag is going to be in the air as soon as we get the... Let's go to the flag man. We'll go to the flag man. You'll look for the cars on the top right of your screen as they come to the green flag to start this race here at Five Flag Speedway. 130 laps. Justin Brooks takes us through the 5-6 graphics restart zone. And here we are, lap 1 of 130 here at Five Flag Speedway. All right, Justin Brooks got a great restart there on the field. Philip York, see him back here in second, side by side, Zachary Wilt and Blaine Harrison. They look like they get settled in straight in the line. You got Anthony Monroe on the outside of the 37 of Kyle St. Jean. It looks like he's going to clear Anthony Monroe. Now we have Jeremy Weigel moving ahead of Anthony Monroe. Anthony's got caught up on the outside there. He's probably going to get freight train down below as we see Riley and who's that right there? Jake Grout getting below him on the inside. Exactly. So let's see if Anthony Monroe gets able to get settled in here, as looks like the majority of the field is now single file, as we see Justin Raymond going to the inside of the 97 of Brian Conover. So what I will highlight here is we do not have tires in this race, so we're going to go 130 laps with one set of tires. We do have one faster pair in the pits for these guys, but you might see some conservative driving here tonight due to the fact that we only have one set. So we see a nice little cluster up here. Let's go ahead and take a look from the nose of the 37 machine, Kyle St. Jean. As you see, Connor Knowlton in the 2, right ahead of him, giving awareness of breast cancer this month. Always appreciate the guys changing up their paints for these awareness campaigns. Breast cancer being definitely a problem throughout America, affected a lot of families. So appreciate Connor adjusting his paint, representing, giving respect to Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Zachary Wilt also rocking the pink in the Ford Mustang. Yeah, so the field's pretty spread out. Let's see where a close battle. We have Jake Grout looking on the inside, or excuse me, on the outside, as Philip York makes that move. Oh, Jake Grout's battling back, dives it down on the inside. Philip York, good little battle here side by side. So let's go ahead and ride inside the cockpit view of Philip York, see if he's able to dive back below. Looks like he's settling in here. Again, these drivers are smart. You know, this is week 6. We've seen tire fall off. We've seen aggressive driving so far this season if you've captured some of our earlier videos. So this is the longest race we have done with no tires. So it's a little uncharted territory for some of these guys. So not sure how much tire fall off we're going to have in both the late model stock and with 5 flags. So every combination is going to be a little bit different. So these drivers are definitely trying to get the feel of things. Let's see if we can go back. We have Connor Knowlton perhaps passing for the lead ahead of Kyle St. Jean. So Connor Knowlton's going to take the point ahead of Kyle St. Jean early on this race, lap 11 of 130. As they go through the backstretch. Kyle St. Jean's not letting him go though, that's for sure. Oh, and Connor's sliding, Kyle St. Jean's sliding on the inside of Connor there. Looks like he's going to be able to clear him into the corner. Let's see if he gets to drive off. And he does. Let's see if Connor tries to cross over. Not enough momentum, so Kyle St. Jean back to the point. Connor Knowlton P2. Justin Brooks finds himself in the 3rd position in the early going. I'll go ahead and take this opportunity to go ahead and highlight the fact that in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour, we do have 2 concurrent series running in the one race. So you'll notice our leaderboard on the left-hand side has a Courage Series and the Honor Series. So those drivers within the Courage Series, whenever their first race of the season, they were at 2499 IR or below. And obviously the Honor Series is 2500 and above at the moment of their first race in the season. Some of those drivers have fluctuated and have surpassed the threshold for the respective series. Justin Raymond, for example, whenever he joined was sitting around 2300, so he's in the Courage Series. I think he's somewhere around 28, 29 IR. So even though he has since surpassed that 2500 in officials, his first race within the season he was below it, so he finds himself in the Courage Series. So in addition to the leaderboard, if you take a look at the front of our cars, you're going to see the windshield banner, purple Kohort, representing that Kyle St. Jean that we're riding along with here is in fact in the Honor Series. One interesting note with Kyle St. Jean is he won our Pilot Season Championship and elected to be in the Honor Series. He is in fact below 2500 IR, but he elected to be in that Honor Series, so he is one exception to the IR rule. But then if you look right from behind, you're going to see that he has a purple spoiler as well. That lets these drivers know that whenever they're battling somebody, they know whether it's not for position within their respective series. So Blaine Harrison, for example, a Courage Series driver, you see the green spoiler. If we hop to the front of his car, you're going to see that green windshield banner. And again, that's for the viewers. As you're watching, you can see the cars coming up, and for the drivers on the track, so they can identify who is or who isn't within their series. So you see Jake Grout looking to make a move on the inside of Kyle St. Jean's able to make that move. He slides up to Kyle St. Jean, be able to get back under him. Doesn't look like it's going to work out. So 1, 2, 3. Good battle here between our top 4 drivers. Currently are Honor Series drivers. See a little bit of a breakaway between those top 3. Justin Brooks approximately 2.5 seconds back of those leaders. Then we have Zachary Wilt and Blaine Harrison battling for first overall within their series. 5th place overall, excuse me. So we have a battle in the back between Chris Fleming. Looks like he's going to go on the inside of the 14 of Clayton Dorner. Looks like he's able to make that pass. We see Trevor Haley getting a little loose on the inside as he dive it down. Elects to back out of that turn. Wasn't quite there. Didn't have his nose in there. But now we see Clayton Dorner going back, getting a little loose. Dives it back below Chris Fleming there. Let's see if he's able to make it stick down on the low line. No, it looks like Chris Fleming's going to get that momentum on the high line, be able to clear him back for 10th outright, 5th for the series. As you see these cars pile through, you see feels pretty spread out. This is the most spread out we've been throughout any race this season. As we get the big cluster here for the mid-pack. You see a dive on the inside by Brian Conover. Let's see if he's able to make that pass ahead of Eli Lewis. Looks like he is. Eli Lewis, another one of those drivers representing pink for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Let's go back up here. It seems like there's a pass for the second position, excuse me, for the, actually, yeah, the second position within the Courage series. So Zachary Wilt currently running second, Blaine Harrison leading the Courage series. Zachary Wilt in the pink 04 is going to be second, and Justin Raymond right behind in the 199. Sundays are for the Kohort Chevrolet. Nice little battle here brewing mid-pack. So we have Riley Maricchio in the blue and yellow 32 with Jeremy Weigel in the 20 with Chris Fleming and Clayton Dorner, with Trevor Haley bringing up the rear of this 5-car battle here. As we see Trevor Haley dive to the inside of the 14 of Clayton. Chris Fleming now looking to the inside of the 20 of Jeremy Weigel. See if he's able to make that pass. Car's sticking a little bit down to the inside. Jeremy's able to maintain position on the high line, but not for 2 turns. So Chris Fleming making the moves on the inside. So as these cars are up single file, let's go ahead and give a shout out to our, oh my goodness, commentators curse right there if I've ever seen it. You saw it live, that cluster, they were battling. I was doing some admin stuff, about to give a shout out to our sponsors, and then you saw it here live. The wreck, we're just going to go ahead and rewind because it happened right here in front of us. So let's see what started all this. So if we go to Riley Maricchio, Chris Fleming perhaps. Let's go ahead and ride on the nose of Chris Fleming, because I think that's when it all got started. We'll go slow-mo and see exactly. So we're doing our AMR replay here. So yeah, it looks like Chris Fleming gets into the back of Riley Maricchio. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hop out of this car because we're going to see a accordion effect. Trevor Haley into Chris Fleming, Clayton Dorner into Trevor Haley, Jeremy Weigel into Clayton Dorner. And I tell you what, that's how you make, as Rick Mayne would say, little late model babies here at Five Flag Speedway. So we had a good run there. I think approximately lap 30. As we see, all cars have to slam on their brakes to avoid everybody piling up there. Oh my. Some extra drama there as cars are trying to get straightened out. Let's see if everybody's okay. Looks like Chris Fleming. Oh, we have the 97. Brian Conover is going to wait. Track should be clear. Making sure he doesn't cause any more damage in that car than necessary. But yeah, so there's our first caution of the race. Chris Fleming getting into the back of Riley Maricchio. Yeah, that was, we see that in every race so far with the incidents happening and then the subsequent accidents that happen. The pile-on effect, it's hard. One, the view outside of the cockpit of these cars is kind of hard to see the cars wrecking ahead of you, as well as how fast everything happens. Your short track doing 15-second laps maybe. We'll take a look at that once we go back green. But short track, so you're coming to those corners quick, and then before you know it, there's a whole pile of cars right in front of you, and you got nowhere to go. But as we were going to do before that first caution came out, we're going to give a shout out to our sponsors, so it's appropriate we do it under a yellow flag. So shout out to Emblem Athletic, coming on board offering Kohort merchandise to the champion of both series, the Courage and Honor series, as well as our SK series that runs 8 p.m. Sunday nights. And 5.6 Graphics offering up a paint for the late model series. So the Honor and Courage series champion will receive a free livery from 5.6 Graphics if they so choose. The offer is available. But yeah, Emblem Athletics, reach out to them, see if they want to sponsor an iRacing league led by myself, being a veteran. They're being focused on veterans and first responders, or offering unit gear, organizational gear, right? So if you're a fire department or an EMT service, you want to provide merchandise, shirts, hoodies, things of that nature for friends and family. Emblem Athletic is your one-stop shop for gear along those lines. You can send them their design idea. They have human artists that'll put together the product. They'll send you a proof. If you approve it, then your shop will go live. Everything's controlled through their website, so no need to worry about what size certain people are. You know, they can go on the website and order themselves. One thing I will mention, they are looking to offer or incentivize, I guess, organizations to use them to monetize the profits for the, in this case, for the creator or for the fire department, as they were initially established for military units for physical fitness gear. Military units are not allowed to receive profits from selling unit gear. So that wasn't something that they initially programmed into their business model, but as they're looking to expand to first responders, fire departments, EMT, etc., they acknowledge that those organizations would benefit from monetizing some of their merchandise. So that's one thing they're working on. So stay tuned for more updates from Emblem Athletic, but we're going back under green flag here with Blaine Harrison now leading this race ahead of Connor Knowlton in second. Justin Brooks finds himself in third. Zachary Wilt caught on the high line. Kyle St. Jean's going to make his way on the inside there. And we have Justin Raymond looking on the inside of Zachary Wilt, but Zach's able to get down. So these restarts are a little wild, and we're going to look to see the old car way out of shape up there. I think Eli Lewis. No, was Trevor Haley way out of the groove up there in the 26. Is that Giampa? Nicholas Giampa, lapped car, trying to stay out of the way. Excuse me, not Trevor Haley. He is also in a black car. That was Nicholas Giampa up in the wall. Oh my. AMR safety crew, get out of here. We're going back racing. All right, there we are. Now we're back racing. All right, so yeah, we have, I think, 2 cars a lap down right now. Chris Fleming, or perhaps maybe some admin things going on right now with cars a lap down. So we're showing Brian Conover, Trevor Haley, Jeremy Watt, Chris Fleming. All these cars are showing a lap down, but we know that not to be true. So perhaps something was caused under that caution with an iRacing glitch and putting these guys a lap down. It almost seems like the cars that went down didn't go a lap down, where everybody that stayed out did. So we'll look to see how that gets sorted out as this race continues. But Connor Knowlton up ahead in first place, ahead of Blaine Harrison and Kyle St. Jean, battling for second. Jake Grout, Justin Brooks. One thing you're not noticing that I just noticed whenever I switched here. So Jake Grout, if we go to his rear chase here, you're going to see that he is in fact a Honor Series driver with that purple windshield banner. He is not coded correctly within SDK Racing, what I'm using for my overlay. So you'll notice whenever I select him, it goes to overall race standings, as I don't have him selected underneath the Honor Series. But he is in fact an Honor Series driver currently, battling side by side with Kyle St. Jean for second overall and for the Honor Series, as he just noses ahead. But you will notice every time that Jake Grout is selected, the standings will go to overall standings. But nonetheless, he is an Honor Series driver, as we see a great battle back behind them, starting with maybe Brian Conover. Yeah, we're looking at Trevor Haley battling on the inside of Brian Conover. They're going to catch Justin Brooks here in that 33. He's currently I believe, let's see. He's currently second behind Bryant Miller. But Bryant Miller is not in the lineup tonight. So I think Justin Brooks, as long as he finishes with at least 6 points, will leave here being our championship leader at the midway point throughout the season. But perhaps doing some early saving, knowing that we're not even halfway through this 130 lap race. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, 130 laps, one set of tires. So these drivers are definitely taking care of their tires so as to not burn them off and, one, get a meatball for not having any tires left. But more importantly, being able to battle late in this race whenever it really matters. We see Justin Raymond getting closer to Kyle St. Jean, looking to make a move. And we can adjust. Let's see if we can adjust this. The overall. Maybe we'll put it right here. So now you can see the overall standings. But I don't know what that. Oh, undefined. So Jake Grout, it says undefined there. Because again, as I mentioned, I don't have him selected as a driver. But P2 there, Jake Grout, is in fact a Honor Series driver, as mentioned. So battle for third between Kyle St. Jean and Justin Raymond. Good battle here. Yeah, the standings a little hard to keep track of now because they're not really true to what's on the track. So you see here, you know, first overall, what has the standings on the board, so you can see all the numbers. There's, you know, 2 of every number, different series. Let's see if we can get that adjusted as well. So there we go. So now you can see overall standings. You'll see the cars that are in red based off Trevor Haley being a lap down. So I think that'll get sorted out once we get another caution flag. We'll see how it all works out. But perhaps those cars that had to go down and repair all that damage, maybe that's why they went a lap down, even though they most likely use their fast repair, short track. Very difficult to go down there and not go a lap down. So maybe that's something race control will look at, to not count caution laps to prevent situations like that in the future. So perhaps we can do that and avoid going a lap down for, you know, having slight damage in the fact that you have a fast repair. As we see Trevor Haley going to the inside of Brian Conover, and he makes that pass. Yes. So Jake Grout out front ahead of Connor Knowlton. Justin Raymond's currently in third. You know, let's go through the field. So we have Jake Grout currently first overall. Connor Knowlton runs second overall. Justin Raymond third overall, first in the Curd Series. Kyle St. Jean fourth overall, third in the Honor Series. Zachary Wilt fifth overall, second in the Curd Series. Justin Brooks sixth overall, running fourth in the Honor Series. Blaine Harrison seventh overall, running third. Riley Maricchio, 8th overall, 5th in his series. Clayton Dorner, 9th overall, 4th in his series. Anthony Monroe, 10th overall, and 5th in his series. Philip York, 11th overall, 6th in his series. Eli Lewis, 12th overall, currently running 6th in his series. Trevor Haley, 13th and 7th in the series. Brian Conover, 14th, 8th in his series. With Chris Fleming, 15th, 7th in his series. It seems like the cars are slowing, so perhaps caution on the track. So let's go take a look. So we see Chris Fleming here. Just gets into the outside wall. That's not going to cause a caution. Perhaps a competition caution coming out to make sure that we have enough fuel for these guys. So I don't see an incident on the track. Let's take a look when the caution comes out. So we're still under green flag conditions. Let's go see here. Yeah, we're still green flag on lap 66, so perhaps the cars weren't slowing down. Maybe I just misread the pace of the cars. Let's see, it looks like we're slowing down here. Yeah, so it looks like the caution flag's out. So 130 laps, there is a chance that we didn't have enough fuel, so race control elected to throw a competition caution. Just to make sure, as we see, no cars are spun on the track, so perhaps competition caution at the midway point through this race just to ensure that we have enough fuel. So we'll go ahead and use this opportunity once again to give a shout out to our sponsors, making this happen, you know, coming on board, offering something for our champions. You know, these guys were taking time out of their Sunday night coming in here, racing with us. So we appreciate Emblem Athletic coming on board, offering championship merchandise and 5/6 graphics, offering a paint for those champions. You know, just gives something to walk away from the season with, gives a incentive to come back. You know, every Sunday it's not always available for people, you know, so you can't come in every Sunday. So knowing that there is something on the line just gives people to maybe make time for the league to make sure that we have racing. Good, healthy competition. So we'll take a look at our upcoming schedule. So this week, obviously Five Flags Speedway. Next week, we're going to head to, as I don't think I have my schedule, I don't have my schedule program to come up, unless, here we are right here. So next week, we're going to head to Bristol Motor Speedway, followed by South Boston, Nashville Fairgrounds, and Concord Speedway. And that's going to end our regular season. Then we're going to have a three race playoff where points will reset. I'll give playoff points for regular season standings. So Southern National, Hickory, and North Wilkes will be our championship playoff, our Mellow SRX Showdown, as our playoff series is called. So Southern National, Hickory Motor Speedway, North Wilkes will be playoffs. Outside of this week, we have 4 weeks left. Bristol Motor Speedway, South Boston, Nashville Fairgrounds, and Concord before playoffs start. So if you're interested, please do come on and join us. There's 4 more regular season races. There's drivers within the top 10. Again, top 10 will make it to the playoffs. So there's drivers within the top 10 that have only raced once or twice. So there's a chance that if you come and you race these last 4 races with us, you can find yourself in that top 10 and be in contention for the playoff with the point reset. So if you're available Sunday nights, session starts at 9. Racing starts at 9:30. The laps from that schedule, as you saw there, I'll highlight that. So 5 Flags, you see 100 laps on the schedule. We're doing 130 tonight. So based off of maybe the aggressiveness we saw early on, we're like, you know what, let's extend these races a little bit. Let's not give any tires, and let's calm down the aggression levels. Make it less like a C-fixed, if you will, and more like an open race. So we are extending all of those laps longer than what you currently see on your screen. So we are running longer. We're pretty active on making polls throughout the season to see what drivers want. So we'll make a determination whether or not we're going to get tires in the future. But for right now, 130 laps, no tires, not a problem for Colin Knowlton as he leads us to the green flag, side by side with Justin Raymond and Riley Maricchio in second, with Jake Grout and Justin Brooks side by side right behind them. Yeah, we're past the midway point now, so maybe those drivers we saw further back in the field are going to start making their way up front. Try to avoid some of the late race late race accidents that we tend to have here. You know, I've mentioned it probably every week so far about the correlation between laps remaining and intensity. So as laps remaining goes down, the intensity goes up, and that's where those cautions tend to creep out and mix everything up late in these races. So far, we have 1 caution for cause once Chris Fleming got into the back of Riley Maricchio, but competition caution, but we've been smooth sailing since then. So great effort by these guys, good hard racing. So there's been a lot of passes out there. It's not like we're just being ultra conservative and everybody's in a line and nobody's passing each other. I think we've seen side-by-side battles, as we see a battle right here between Justin Brooks. So we've seen side-by-side battles throughout the night. This is just another example. So we're not being, wrong button. So we're not being ultra conservative, but we're definitely being a little more conservative than we've seen in earlier races. As you see, we're very close between Jake Grout and Justin Brooks still for that second position. Jake Grout's not quite ready to let Justin Brooks pull away. So it looks like he's going to try to make a move on his outside. He gets a great run on the outside. He's able to clear him into the turn. That's something we haven't seen very often, is being able to make a pass on the outside the way that Jake Grout was able to drive by. Perhaps Justin Brooks letting him take that turn, not trying to fight too early, because we do have 52 laps remaining. So maybe still saving a little bit, as we see Anthony Monroe looking. Oh, was able to make that. Oh, Kyle St. Jean getting slideways underneath Trevor Haley. Excuse me, by Jeremy Weigel. My standings is still a little bit messed up on the people that are laps down, so Jeremy's still battling with these lead pack, even though he does find himself one lap down in this race. So we see Justin Raymond trying to make a move on the inside of Riley Mercury. Couldn't quite pull it off, so Riley was able to take that 4th position overall. Currently 4th in his class, as the top 3 are all Honor Series drivers. Oh, slight contact there between the 199 Sunday for the Kohort Chevrolet, between him and Riley. So let's go see as that unfolds. Justin's looking to the inside again of Riley. Riley's on the outside. It's going to leave him space. And corner exit, excuse me, still side by side. Let's see if Justin Raymond's going to be able to send it in there. Sends it in. Let's see if he's able to clear him. He is. Oh, yep, he's able to clear Riley on the inside. Good move there by Justin Raymond. Slight contact prior to the actual pass happening, so we'll see how short Riley's memory is, or if he remembers that for later. Great battle here between these 4 drivers, very close. Philip York looking to get past Riley here. He's going to take a ride on his nose. Oh, as we see a car spin. Oh, a couple cars. Kyle St. Jean, Chris Fleming, looks like. So caution's out on the track. Let's go see what happened there with... so we see a car spun, stuck on the apron. Not sure if that's going to bring out the caution. Yeah, it looks like Kyle St. Jean stuck on the apron here. And then perhaps a car slow on the outside is able to bring out that caution. But yeah, Kyle St. Jean stuck down on the apron, didn't want to pull out on the track and cause that caution. But looks like maybe race control or a driver decided to slow down, make sure that caution came out to avoid Kyle St. Jean pulling out and causing a huge pile up. So that's the thing with using the iRacing cautions is sometimes when there's car off the track, iRacing is not going to throw it. You know, when you have a larger track, I don't know, say Daytona, that backstretch, right? So cars slide, they go all the way down against that inside wall, which is, 10, 12 lanes off the racing surface. So plenty of space for those guys to get it straightened out, get back on the track. Here at Five Flags, apron has just enough space for a car to fit. And unfortunately, if that car slides down into that apron, as we see Kyle St. Jean driving through the field here, perhaps wants to show us a little bit of displeasure between him and Trevor Haley. I wonder. Let's go see. We see some drama unfolding here. Perhaps there was some slight contact between, as we see Nicholas Ciampa bouncing in and out all over the place. So let's see if we can rewind and perhaps capture what put Kyle St. Jean down there in the first place. I'm willing to bet if we ride along on that number 12 Trevor Haley machine, we might see some contact, as we saw Kyle St. Jean show his displeasure during caution, going up, getting beside him, saying, "Hey man, what was that about?" Yeah, confirmed. Trevor Haley getting into the back of Kyle St. Jean. It's going to send him around, as we saw, and he's going to get stuck down there on that apron. And iRacing, it's like, oh, off the racing surface. Zero regard for how difficult it would be for Kyle St. Jean to get back on the track without taking out the field. So second caution for calls, lap 87 here at Five Flags Speedway in race 6 of the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. We're going to go through the top 5 of each series real quick as we're doing some pace laps here. So currently first overall in the Curd series, Justin Raymond. You'll find him on Twitch, Mellow_racing. See if we can get the details popped up here. And there we are. There's Justin there. P2, Zachary Wilt. P3, Anthony Monroe. Clayton Dorner. And Blaine Harrison. That's your top 5 in the Curd series. Then going up to the Honor Series, first overall is going to be Connor Knowlton. Jake Grout is going to be second. Justin Brooks is going to be third. Riley Mercchio is going to be fourth, with Philip York rounding out your top 5. Now, one thing I do want to highlight, Anthony Monroe, we do have a handful of real-life drivers there. You see his photo. Anthony Monroe does, in fact, race at Five Flags Speedway in real life. So he reached out to me prior to this race saying that he expects to perform pretty well, considering he's raced here in real life. I don't have a picture of he sent me a photo of his truck, but I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But he does, in fact, race a pro truck. So one of a few real-life drivers we have here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. As we're getting doubled up, looks like we're going to go back green flag racing. Yeah, no surprise that we're seeing some late cautions here. Now anybody that was saving is going to be looking to make a move now, so there will be no more saving as we see Connor Knowlton head into the 5-6 graphics restart zone. Good start by that front row, still side by side heading into turn 1. Justin Brooks able to clear Justin Raymond on the inside. As we see Justin Raymond and Riley, spun around. Justin Raymond gets spun around. We saw it. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and rewind. It's a close battle in there up in the front. We saw Justin Brooks get a grid restart, get below Justin Raymond. So now we have, looks like the Philip York 97 machine. So let's go ahead and ride on his nose and see exactly how this unfolded. So if we go slow-mo, yeah, we're going to have Justin Raymond on the outside. Perhaps far chase might be a better angle to look at this. And perhaps Justin Raymond trying to slide in behind Riley Mercchio, slowing down a little bit. Philip York full throttle, gets into the back of him. So Philip York sending Justin Raymond around. Is going to bring out our third caution for calls tonight as we're heading into 30 laps to go. As we're riding along with Philip York, we actually caught up with him prior to this race. He's from Asheville, North Carolina. He's a carpenter in real life. His favorite track is Tri-County Speedway. Now, if you guys haven't Googled Flow Racing Tri-County Speedway, there's some drama there this past weekend. So go ahead and check that video out. Once you're done watching this one, of course. But Tri-County, one of those good tracks. Hard racing you see time and time again through the late model series, SK, and even like the local track that races there, the smaller series. Always good racing. And Philip York, also a real life driver here in the cohort. So it's cool to see real life drivers come in here and show that they enjoy both, real life and virtual racing. Try to show that respect on and off the track. So welcome, Philip York, to the Cohort Late Model Stock Tour. I usually go through the field and give a shout out to all military first responders, EMTs we have in the lineup tonight. I believe we only have one, being Chris Fleming, EMT in his that's his real profession. So appreciate Chris Fleming coming on board, rocking the Emblem Athletic paint. Once again, Emblem Athletic obviously providing fitness gear for military first responders. So shout out to Chris Fleming for rocking their paint, and of course for Emblem coming on board, sponsoring the Cohort series. We're going to be looking to grow, maybe add more leagues, maybe mix up late model stock, maybe do some other types of racing. So appreciate Emblem coming on board. This is our first full season that we're doing in any series. We did one pilot season. So looking to continue to grow here in the Cohort. So if you're interested in racing Sunday nights, hop in the Discord, show me some of your ideas. What kind of racing you want to see? What kind of cars? What kind of tracks? We're going to have 30 laps to go here. Connor Knowlton's going to lead us to the green flag. Jake Grout's on his outside. Justin Brooks, Riley Murchio, our top 5, currently all Honor Series drivers. We see a great start by Connor Knowlton on the inside. Justin Brooks gets a great start behind him. Is able to make a pass and clear that outside line. Slow restart by Jake Grout on that outside. Justin Brooks able to take that second overall. As we see a battle there, Philip York's able to get settled in side by side further back with Zachary Wilt and Anthony Monroe. Anthony Monroe on the outside of Zachary Wilt. And what these cautions have allowed, those cars that found themselves one lap down for that early pile up, seems like the majority of them were able to get their laps back, with perhaps Ryan Conover being one of those that was not able to. Kyle St. Jean we saw. There's caution on the track, but Kyle St. Jean going laps down for getting caught on the apron there. But here's another caution. Let's go see. I don't know what this one caution was. We didn't see anything on the track. Oh my, Atlanta? Well, a huge secondary contact again. Well, let's think. Jeremy Weigel. Is that Chris Fleming, perhaps? Or Kyle St. Jean? Let's see. Let's hop on the nose of Kyle St. Jean. Can't really tell where the incident occurred, but it could be right here. Yeah, so Kyle St. Jean gets into the back of Jeremy Weigel, sends him around, and then we'll hop back out so we can see what happens after that. So we have Jeremy Weigel in the middle of the track. Now we're going to have Brian Conover slowing down. Chris Fleming has other ideas. So hopefully Chris Fleming's crew is able to get out there and make sure that there's no significant damage to any of these cars, or any of these drivers, excuse me. That's going to bring out, I don't know, our 5th caution for calls. All right, well, thank our AMR safety crew. It looks like all the cars are off and running. We can get them off here. Let's get that tower back on. And let's see if we can close down this race. I think we're going to have approximately 25 laps to go once we go back green flag racing. But going through the field, let's get our overall standings up there so you guys can see where we're currently at. So overall, Connor Knowlton, Justin Brooks, Jake Grout, Philip York, Riley Maricchio, Zachary Will, Anthony Monroe, Trevor Haley, Clayton Dorner, Blaine Harrison, Justin Raymond, Jeremy Weigel, Chris Fleming, Brian Conover, Nick Giampa, Kyle St. Jean, Eli Lewis, and Caleb McNeil, who did not grid, but nonetheless, he is on your leaderboard. Not mentioned here is Jake Grout, who currently finds himself. Oh, he is mentioned. He is in third. You see his little bar there is yellow. Poor guy. Maybe I'll have that fixed for the next race. Sorry about that, Jake. So yeah, the idea of adding the 2 series here in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour is to offer those guys that, you have Justin Brooks, for example, is at a 10K, Jake Grout, 4K, Riley Maricchio, basically 5K, Trevor Haley pushing 4K. So we have a wide range of IR here in the league. And as you can see, there's only 17 cars in the lineup. So if I were to divide both of these series and run 2 separate races, you would have 2 fields with less than 10 drivers. So to encourage and to really get a larger field week in and week out, combining the 2 series into 1 race, similar to IMSA. IMSA will have the GT Pro and the GT Pro Am. So it's all the same car. They just have an amateur driver in one of the series. So following that structure is really what inspired this division within the Kohort Late Model Stock Tours. This is the first year we've done it. I think it's worked out pretty well. We'll check the point standings at the end of this race to see where everybody stands. But it just allows some of these guys that might not have as much time to put in as some of these other guys or haven't raced as long. Gives them an opportunity to, 1, win a race for their series, and 2, earn some championship merchandise from Emblem Athletic. But here we are, we're going back green flag racing. Connor Knowlton leads us to the green flag. Justin Brooks door banging on the restart. Let's see if Justin's able to dive it in there on the outside. Let's see if he's able to stick with him. Looks like he has good run on the outside, still side by side for the lead. Coming to 23 to go. Justin Brooks wants to take that point, get that clean air, and drive off and control the back end of this race after saving early. So as you can see here, he's making it work on the outside. We haven't seen that happen very often today. But Justin Brooks able to get it done. Yeah, it looks like another caution's out. So let's go see. Oh, Justin Raymond hard into the inside wall with secondary contact. Always secondary contact. It's hard to avoid. Not always on the drivers that causes that. But let's see. Looks like we have Blaine Harrison here. Let's see if we can ride far chase and see what happens here as we saw Justin Raymond going around. So we have Blaine Harrison, Justin Raymond, corner exit. Yeah, it looks like the slightest contact between Blaine Harrison and Justin Raymond. But that's going to send Justin Raymond spinning around. Hard contact on the inside wall is going to send him spinning around back up into traffic. He's going to netcode Chris Fleming. And then someone comes through late. Nicholas Giampa says hello and sends Justin Raymond high up into the air. But heavy netcode between. Look at the 199 of Justin Raymond on the inside, then Chris Fleming on the outside. So no actual contact there, but netcode says, you know what? We're going to spin Chris Fleming around as well. So let's get our AMR safety crew out there to make sure that Justin Raymond's okay, because that was some hard contact. Let's see if he's able to drive that thing back to the pit road. I imagine fast repair was used during the last incident between him and Philip York. Yeah, we saw Justin Raymond running up front within the Courage series earlier in this race. So unfortunate getting involved in multiple incidents here late. And it's going to take him out of contention to definitely go home with a good points day and or the series win. So that car has definitely been through the ringer. But good looking paint. Appreciate Justin Raymond good and rocking the Sundays for the Kohort logo. 5.6 graphics there on the side. So he parks it on the start finish and decides to go ahead and tow to the pits, a la Josh Williams. Josh Williams? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's who this was. So that's going to be it for Justin Raymond. We're going to do some pace laps. I'll remind everybody again as we're closing down. Next week, we're going to head to Bristol Motor Speedway for schedule says 80 laps. I think we're going to do 100 laps. 100 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway, 22 October. Session opens up 9 p.m. Eastern. Qualifying will start at 9:30 with green flag approximately 9:35 for 100 laps. So if you're available Sunday nights, the Kohort is for you. All right, looks like all safety crews good to go. Justin Raymond was able to tow to the pits. He'll head to the infield care center. Make sure he gets all bandaged up and get back out here next week. Let's go ahead and get our class standings back up here as we're closing down here. 28 to go. Excuse me, 18 to go. So if you were saving tires at any point in this race, now's the time to use up what you had. What you have left, because you're not taking it home. So Justin Brooks has the point, elects to take the outside. Leader does have the option to choose inside or outside. All others will follow iRacing instruction. But Justin Brooks elected to take the outside on this restart with, I think it's going to be 16 to go once they start past the start finish. Justin Brooks in the restart zone sends it to the start finish. Connor Knowlton is able to dive in behind him as we see Philip York looking to the inside of Riley Maricchio. He's able to make that pass, so Riley finds himself back in fourth position as we see Clayton Dorner stuck on the outside of Anthony Rose looking to go on the inside. Clayton Dorner there. He's able to not quite make that pass. As we see Blaine Harrison trying to do something, but these two battling side by side. Nowhere for Blaine Harrison to go. Clayton Dorner doing a great job on that outside. Trying to stick with Anthony Rose, trying not to give him that position. I will remind you guys, this is for first overall. Blaine Harrison to the inside wall, gets loose, pushing a little bit too hard. Battling between these two, perhaps some dirty air caused him to get loose. Very unfortunate for Blaine Harrison as he was in that top three within the Honor Series, Courage Series. But now battles between Clayton Dorner and Anthony Moreau was able to make that pass for 5th overall and 1st within the Courage Series. We go check up front quickly. We see Justin Brooks pulling away by a half a second ahead of Connor Knowlton. Philip York nipping at Connor's tails, trying to close that distance. Riley Maricchio, Anthony Moreau. So we see Zachary Wilt trying to make a move on the inside of Clayton Dorner here late in the race. Trying to get 2nd overall within the series. Trevor Haley found himself laps down earlier in this race. Back on the lead lap and looking to close the distance between him and the other Honor Series drivers. We see Riley getting a little upset there on the inside, perhaps getting loose, some contact. Not really sure what happened with Riley there, but definitely out of shape as he was battling up there with those top 4. Now he finds himself battling Zachary Wilt for 5th overall. Zach's trying to make moves on the outside, thinks otherwise, dives back in on the inside. Doesn't want to lose that position to the number 14 of Clayton Dorner, who's now divided between Trevor Haley, an Honor Series driver. So these guys are mixing it up as we see, honor, courage, keeping actual series positions away from each other. But one thing I will highlight is that the points are not divided among series. So if you finish first in the Courage Series, if you finish first in the Courage Series, but you're 5th overall, you still get the points associated to your overall position. You don't get first place points. You do get 5 bonus points for winning the race, but you will not receive the 35 points or whatever the case may be for finishing, in second, for example. But hard contact in the outside wall, perhaps somebody blinking in and out. We saw Nicholas Giampa having connections issues earlier. Perhaps that's being caused by him getting out of the way of these lead lap cars, but riding that outside wall and causing some sparks. So we'll just ignore that. It's October, some ghosts on the track. But Justin Brooks definitely saved throughout this race. Has almost a second gap ahead of P2 of Connor Knowlton. Philip York still right behind Connor Knowlton. Anthony Monroe moves up to 4th overall once Riley got upset. His car got upset. Zach Ruel trying to make a move on Riley. Perhaps tires are running out for Riley. But we're coming 5 to go. So the closest battle we have for position is back here between Chris Fleming and Clayton Dorner for that final podium position within the Courage Series. We see Clayton dive it down on the inside. Let's see if he's able to hold that position. Chris goes back to the outside. Does he have enough space? Has to lift to avoid hitting that outside wall. So these guys are battling very hard, as we see for position up here now. Zachary Wilt is for overall position and points, not for series position, but there is more points on the line by passing Riley Maricchio, so he definitely wants to try to gain that position. As we were talking about the distance between Justin Brooks and Connor Knowlton, just kidding, it's still over a second now. So Justin Brooks saved as much as he needed to save. Well, let's keep an eye on these battles back here. The laps are closing down. I think this is your closest battle on the track. Clayton Dorner still looking to make a move on Trevor Haley, trying to gain those positions, see if he can get on the inside. Does get on the inside of Trevor Haley. Let's see if he has enough to clear him, or if Trevor Haley's going to carry momentum on the outside and make it difficult for Clayton Dorner to get by. Still side by side, Clayton Dorner, Trevor Haley, with Kyle St. Jean holding him up. And what is this? It appears, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have lost connection to the race. We will go ahead and tell you the overall standings. It seems like our broadcast has come to an abrupt end. But rest assured, Justin Brooks, with a 2.5 gap ahead of Connor Knowlton, does go ahead and take this series an overall win here. Connor Knowlton, P2. And Philip York rounds out your podium position for the Honor Series. Let's go ahead and get our details up, give these guys their recognition. And then Anthony Monroe, talked to me before the race, had high expectations for this race and does come away with 1st overall. Zachary Wilt coming 2nd, with Clayton Dorner coming in 3rd in your Courage Series. So I do apologize for the anticlimactic finish for this broadcast, but rest assured, the race was final. It was spoiler, as you probably know by now. We do record these broadcasts from the replay files. Replay file didn't capture the pre-race grid nor the finish, extracurriculars, the fireworks, literal fireworks that go off at most tracks. So we didn't capture that in the replay, but we had all the racing here. All the racing action was captured. We see Trevor Haley and Kyle St. Jean getting each other. We saw them have some early drama earlier in this race, but this is where it's going to end. So we'll go ahead and take a look at our point standings after the race. As mentioned at the top of the show, we expected Justin Brooks to take that overall lead, as Bryant Miller was not in the lineup tonight. And in fact, he does take the lead by a very commanding lead after dominating the second half of this race, saving early on. But Justin Brooks, Bryant Miller, Connor Knowlton, Brian Conover, and Kyle Terzak rounds out your top 5 for the late model stock car Honor Series. And then down in the Courage Series, we have Anthony Monroe, Chris Fleming, Nicholas Walthorne, and Dakota Malore, with Clayton Dorner rounding out your top 5 in the Courage Series. So we'll see what happens over these next 4 weeks before playoffs start, and who the comers and goers are. Because as I mentioned, if you don't show up for a race, we just saw Bryant Miller, was leading this race, did not make this race. Now he finds himself 48 points behind first place. So approximately 50-point swing in any given race by not showing up. So if you go down and look at that Courage series, Clayton Dorner currently 56 points behind. But if the rare occasion, Ethan or Chris Fleming, Nicholas Walthorn, Dakota Malora do not show up, boom, Clayton Dorner now finds himself competing for that first overall in the Courage series. So it's not too late to join the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. Please find the link in the description below for the Discord. Join the Discord. We'll point you in the right direction of how to join the league. Request your number and come and join us in the Kohort Late Model Stock Tour. That's going to do it. Appreciate you watching. See you next week at Bristol Motor Speedway.